The topic today is higher cost per clicks can actually equal lower cost per conversions or cost per leads. Now, it's a very simple philosophy, or like not even philosophy. It's something I've been observing for a long time, but I've only consciously said it out loud yesterday because I had a call with a prospect who I gave some advice to, and they actioned this advice, and then they gave me feedback, be like, man, this worked. And I was like, wait, this is a strategy in itself that I've not heard anyone else talk about. Now, maybe someone else is talking about it, but I haven't heard it. So therefore, if I can't see you, you don't exist. If I
It
don't
doesn't
hear it,
exist.
it never happened. So this is higher cost per clicks equals not equals, but there's can be times a correlation with higher cost per clicks equals a lower cost per lead or conversion. Now,
Okay.
people go, how's that? Like, if the costs increase, why would you get lower cost per conversion? And this is it. Your conversion rate increases. So by actually bidding more on the same keyword, your conversion rate increases. Number one, because if that's a high intent buying or action based keyword, if you bid higher, you're most likely showing higher. You're getting a higher volume of clicks coming through, or maybe a higher quality of click coming through. People convert at a higher rate, and then actually the cost per conversion goes down.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if I explained that right. I
Yeah.
hope people are smart enough to get the concept, but I've seen this more and more often that people only think there's two ways to get lower cost per leads: either get cheaper traffic or increase the conversion rate on the page. But
Either
this is
or.
actually the opposite. This is getting more expensive traffic and not even touching the page. The page still
Yes.
operates the same. Because if you said to anyone, how do I increase my conversion rate? I don't see anyone going bid more on your high convert, like on your top keywords, or bid more on keywords that have a higher buying sentiment. People go, increase these things on the landing page or this stuff, or try to get cheaper traffic or do broad match. So that's my kind of little rant for insert time.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah. It makes me think about we do like to think about bids as increasing or decreasing, and that is sometimes something that we're doing manually. But also when we think about smart bidding, right? So when we're going to set a target, we're going to change that target return ad spend, target cost per acquisition, etc. It is also going to be determining that end bid for whoever is doing the search, right? So if we are in that auction and we are saying to Google or Microsoft or whatever, I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to pay whatever it takes to get a purchase or a lead at this efficiency number, whatever the cost per acquisition or return ad spend. Okay, cool. Thing is that smart bidding is not just going to set a flat bid for everybody. It's not
Yeah.
manual bidding in that way, right? It's going to then say, okay, I need to get more conservative or more aggressive based on what you were just alluding to, the intent of the searches. So it is very counterintuitive, which is why maybe you're saying maybe I'm not making sense, because I think it is you have to kind of think it through. It isn't
Yeah.
necessarily obvious that sometimes in order to get lower cost per acquisitions, lower cost per leads, lower cost per sales, you might actually have to get more aggressive, again, through smart bidding or manually increasing the bids.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to pay for every click, but each click is going to be, hopefully, that's the promise of smart bidding, higher quality.
Yeah.
Eventually, and this is a whole nother conversation, you're going to hit a point where you continue to do that and it's beautiful and you're making hand over fist profits, but now all of a sudden it's like the returns are starting to go down and you can't keep pushing at that volume. But that's sort of part two. Did I explain it properly? Does that?
Mate, that's perfect. It complemented it perfectly, mate. So thank you, Maestro. The thing is just this does go against a bit of like like quote unquote common sense economics of like, if conversion rate's this and then cost is this, if you want to bring the cost down, you've got to either bring the conversion rate up or the cost per click down. But once again, most people go, how do you increase the conversion rate? They just go, we do this optimization on the page. They don't go, what keywords are converting either higher than the benchmark, or what keywords are converting well? Because this is the thing, when you actually bid on keywords that are already going well and bid higher, the conversion rate can increase further. It's not like the conversion rate on that keyword that's what it is forever. is that actually when you give that more of a priority, it can actually deliver even higher, which then can drop down the cost per conversion. So we're just about to start working with a property company, a property investment company. And the guy who was running the ads, he'd been running it for 2 months. He's like their marketing manager. And he's like, oh, the cost per clicks are expensive. You know, they're recommending that we bid like $10 to $20. And like, I'm trying to like arbitrage by doing $5. And he's like, you know, I'm not really getting that much traffic. CTRs are really high, even with the lower cost per click, but nothing's converted. And the deals are worth a lot of money. And I'm like, dude, just like, I just said, just do this and this. And he goes, man, I increased the cost per click from $5 to $15. And within like, I think 4 clicks, I got 2 leads, and 2 leads turned into 2 sales, which were worth like $15,000. So by just increasing that, and that's not the only experience I've had. That's literally got told to me yesterday. And it just reminded me of all these other clients that I have where I'm like, I know that they're sensitive to cost per lead, and it's risky to talk about cost per click with them. I know sometimes that's getting a bit too in the weeds with clients, but by increasing the cost per click, it's not like it's a linear, like let's just say their cost per conversion goal is $100 and the conversion rate's at 10%. Therefore, for the maths to work, they need a $10 cost per click. So by going up to $15 at a 10%, that means the cost per lead would be $150, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. That $15 cost per click may move up to 20%. And people just don't, I think people are not willing to push up their cost per click. Number one, because they don't have the experience of this. Number two, they're not aware of this, that this happens. Number three, they're so sensitive to cost per click they're sensitive to cost per lead, and then they just assume cost per click is the main lever for that, rather than understanding that there are other factors in this as well. Smart bidding, just the psychology of like certain keywords. If they get more of it, it actually pushes up the average of success as well.
Yeah, so I think especially in the lead generation world, in terms of account management, anything click related, it's going to come in a much higher clip, a much higher volume.
Yeah.
So there's a very constant and high feedback loop, right? There's a high volume feedback loop where you're saying, okay, CPCs, your click through rates are going up or down. When they're looking at it a lot, they're seeing all those ebbs and flows and all the volatility. Their cost per lead, their cost per acquisition, cost per sale maybe doesn't have as obvious of a volatility because it depends, as we've talked about, the date ranges we're talking about and the sales funnel as well, the length of the sales funnel. So I do think there is this inherent, to your point, price sensitivity. I mean, nobody wants to pay more for anything if they don't have to, right? So they, even if the value is there, if we can get it a little cheaper, we'd like to do that, right? That's just human nature. But at the same time, we don't always get in accounts a lot of leads to go off of. So I think that also plays a part where you can't have that constant feedback loop of, oh, my cost per lead it's really going up, or no, actually what I just did is it's really driving them down. It takes, in some accounts, months before that's really, really clear that it's a change in the market versus a change in what you did.